come here. Did cross the yellow line, but it was a nasty flick. We went over the track, went off the track here. It's not a perfect run, but I mean, hey, like for what it is, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the way the car feels. And we just blaze over the line. Can't see anything. My smoke mod's just cranked at the moment. All right, welcome back, I guess. This is the first time I'm doing this in like 2 years, 3 years. Hey everyone who doesn't know who I am, I'm Crispy. I've been sim drifting for over 10 years now, IRL drifting for over 10 years, and we used to stream, we used to do YouTube content, heaps of TikTok, and then I just stopped. I don't know why, I just stopped one day. But I thought, hey, let's like get back into our tuning guides, because ESDA just released a brand new set of cars not too long ago, and there's no servers running them. And I thought, well, maybe people just don't know how to tune them. Let's have a bit of a play. So off the rip, let's get straight into it. So here we go. All right, so first car off the rip, we're gonna try the ESDA, I think it's the new 400Z, the new Z. The model itself looks sick. Wheels are dope. Nice chunky 5 spokes. Looks like some sort of like Meister-esque inspired wheels. The kit looks good. Model looks sweet. Car sounds good. I haven't driven it yet at all. I'm literally on the base tune at the moment, but the car looks unreal. So we'll get straight into it. And I'll show you if we go back to the pits. As you can see, it's basically completely bone stock. Stock pressures, stock everything. I haven't driven these new cars at all. I can see the cambers, neg 3. Like it's all bone stock. All the same, like 100% power and coast. High preloads, brake biases will need to change, the roll bars will need to change. So I can see a bunch of stuff that needs to change just by looking at it. But let's have a bit of a play and see what she does. Let's have a feel for the grip. Doesn't feel too bad. We are doing the testing on Road Atlanta as a Formula Drift. Round 2 is for Road Atlanta coming up very shortly. So give it a shot, shall we? Okay, so off the rip, it needs a little bit more wheel speed. But we'll go one more time. I can tell it does need quite a bit of wheel speed. The run up for this track is quite long, so you do have quite a lot of speed by the time you get to turn 1. Yeah, she does need a bit more wheel speed. So off the rip, let's just change the gearing. So we'll start here. At the moment, it's on 3.5s. Usually fourth gear at the moment set to 228 kilometers an hour. I sort of like that 240 mark. It just gives the car a little bit more guts going into it. So let's just change the gearing and make sure we get the run up correct. Usually the camera is on the top. I have it on the top left, but I decided to move it to the bottom because people were saying that they couldn't see the numbers that I was pressing. Okay, that actually was much better. That actually was much better in terms of speed into the corner. Now we just need to lay on a little bit of foot brake on initiation, and we should get turn 1. This is the first time driving this car. Well, there goes my phone. This is the first time driving this car, so I genuinely have no idea how these ESDA cars drive. The difference of VDC for sure. Unintentional backy, I guess. Cool, okay. So it is definitely back to third there, and could even be second if you want to keep the revs up and if you're chasing. All right. So I can definitely see where we're going to need to tweak the rear end quite a bit. In terms of tires, the tire pressure. Now, if you look at the tire reader just here, I might blow it up a little bit more for you guys, just so you can see it. So you have like your PSI up the top and you have PSI down the bottom. When they're in the green, it means that they're at the optimal pressures, not temp. So what that means is if I was to decrease the pressures down to 14 PSI, see how it goes from that lighter blue to a darker blue on the rear? So it means they're just really under pressure. So let's pump it up to 24. See where we're sitting at? Okay, so now we're over pressure. So let's go back down to 22. We're in the green. Okay, so we're at the optimal PSI, we're at the optimal pressure at the start of the run. Now, when we get to the end of the run, that pressure is going to increase. We still haven't scrubbed the tires either. So let's do a little scrub. So even at a little scrub, that was fine. Not too bad. Let me just decrease this once again. And pop this one just here. Beautiful. Okay. See where they get to after a run. Okay, so they only went up 1 PSI the entire run, which actually isn't too bad. And as you can see, they went to green, so they're now at full grip operating temperature, which is good. Okay, so tire pressures are fine with that. The front end, I do feel like it's a little bit washy, like it needs a little bit more grip. So we're just going to drop the pressures by 2 up the front. Fuel, that's fine. Turbo, that's fine. Alignment. Now, with the alignment, we're going to leave it at the moment, but I am going to change the diff. I want the diff power to be around 80, and I want the diff coast to be about 50. The preload at the moment is set to 80 Newton meters. Now, each car is a bit different. We're going to start off at 20 and see what happens. Now, the reason why we're adjusting diff power and diff coast is the power is essentially when the diff is 100% locked, it will be at 100% and 100%. When the diff power is higher than the coast, around the 80s to 90 mark, and the coast is around 50, it basically turns it into a two-way, where when you let off throttle, the rear end isn't going to coast out. It'll start moving individually, and they'll start gaining grip based on where they are on the track. So let's give this a shot and see if it helps us on turn 1. Get a little bit of heat in the tire. Doesn't like this car doesn't like third gear. It might be the gearing, could be the power, especially on the standstill. Little left foot brake there. Oops, we dropped down revs. That felt a lot better on initiation. As I came off the throttle with the handbrake, the car settled and it didn't want to over rotate. So I've pumped, and I could feel the car wanting to grip up, and then I just gave it a bit of gas, and then dropped a gear, gave it some gas prematurely, and it posted in nicely. So I'm pretty happy with that. But the front end does feel quite loose in these cars. It does need a little bit more love and grip up the front. So we'll have a play with our roll bars shortly. Let's give it one more run just to confirm the diff. Well, that was my bad. Didn't throw enough angle. Creep up the hill. Get into outside zone 3. Okay, cool. Let's have a look at the roll bar. So the suspension. So when you raise the value, makes the front end roll less and gain stability, precision. Okay, lower the value, makes the front end roll more. You have better mid-turn grip, but you lose precision and agile. And the agility, sorry. So I definitely feel like that this front roll bar will crank it up to 30, and the rear will leave at 4, and we'll see what happens. Crash that. I'm going to leave that the way it is. The wheel rate is what I'm going to change as well. So the wheel rate adjusts basically the suspension stiffness. So sorry, that was my bad. I'm going to leave that on 2000 for the amount of roll. I do feel like it rolls a little bit. I want it to be a little bit stiffer. The front for the dampening, but the front suspension, the wheel rate will drop down to 55, go down 5 points. The rear will go down to 45. Now that is going to adjust how much camber that our car has on the front and the rear, because we are technically like lowering the car a little bit. It's just softening the suspension. So we'll see how this feels. The softening on the rear and the front roll bars are being stiffened, but then the individual springs are being compressed, are being loosened. So we're going to have a little bit of more agility if we mount a ripple strip. And straight away, I feel the wheel fighting me, which is great. I now have front end feel. Cool. I like it. I have front end feel now, which is great. Now, I'm going to give it the brake bias. Now, I personally, based on my pedals and the way I drive, I like a brake bias around 70%, based on left foot braking. And then because I have the Fanatec V3 pedals, I sort of like the brake power to be a little bit less than 100%. Each car is different. So usually the way I gauge it is that if I go full brake and the car locks up the front wheels, I don't want it. I always pull the brake power down a little bit. So I did feel like it was locking up a little bit on the front. The suspensions, look, the car feels fine. I don't think we need to adjust any of that. The next step is going to be the alignment for sure. So we're running neg 3 camber on the front. So let's actually drop this value down. So we're running neg 4. And when you say -4 camber, I want you guys not to look at the buttons that I'm changing here on the left, but you want to be looking at the car status on the right hand side, because sometimes it is off. Like it'll say -6 here, but it's actually like -5 on the right hand side. So when I'm adjusting and I'm reading the toe angles, I'm reading everything via the right hand side, which is the car status. So at the moment, -4 camber on the front. We have positive 0.5 toe in on the front. So we're going to drop that down to -15. I'm going to drop this one down to -15, make it the same. -13, -15, roughly the same. And then the camber on the rear, we're going to give it a little bit of positive camber, because remember we did drop the suspension rate on the rear, so the springs will compress. As it compresses, the wheels, we want them to be cambered. So as it compresses, it kind of levels itself out once we're on gas. It's running negative 3 toe out on the rear, which is kind of bad. We're going to want to have toe in on the rear, not out. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start off with 0.5, which for some reason on this car is -115. So we're going to go to -115 on both ends, because then that makes it just above positive. Cool. We're going to give this a shot, and we're going to see how the car feels now. Alignments are really tricky. Like they are very tricky. But we'll see how we go. See if it works. Okay, straight off the rip, I noticed on the transitions, the car, instead of coasting out wide, which is what it was doing with that negative camber, negative toe on the rear, it's now like as I'm giving it throttle, it wants to push itself in, which is quite nice. So we're going to give it a little smidge more on the rear. So we're going to go down to let's let the car settle and reset. Okay, we're going to go to we go to 130, which negative 130 on this car is going to be around 0.07, basically 0.1. We want it to be like 0.1 toe in, which will be great. And then the front, we're going to give it a little bit more toe out. So we'll go, we'll run it at negative 0.24, 2024 around there. Now, in terms of camber, it does have a little bit more positive camber on the rear than I wanted after it sort of did a run and we settled it in. So we're going to now pull it back a little bit. Cool. All right, let's give this a shot and see how we go. Tuning cars is all personal preference. I'm doing this off of a direct drive. For Logitech users, there might be little tweaks you want to do for the alignment as well. But unfortunately, I don't have a Logitech here to plug it in to show you. Okay, see, it caught itself. It caught itself so well there. I literally just did nothing but gas. I just gave it throttle and it pulled itself around the corner. And now every time I'm on lock, it wants to pull itself around the corner rather than coasting out. That's actually not too bad. Let's get a couple of laps in now where we can actually really have a feel for it. It has been a while since I've done any of these tuning videos or tuned cars, to be honest. So I'm still getting a feel for it. Haven't driven this track in 3 years, so we're getting there. It's all new car, new track basically, new tune. Going wide there. My line's wrong. Coming out into inside clip 1, then over to outside zone 3 or 2. Sorry. Yeah, I think my line's wrong. Let's give it one more crack. But this feels a shitload better than what it was previously. Like even just giving the car a little mangy now. Like it feels weighty. It's responsive. Car's grippy, it's competitive. Feels a lot better with these settings. Trying fourth now, why not? Besides the initiation and outside zone, or that last inner zone, sorry, that's not too bad. I think that's a pretty decent run. I think the car feels solid. Go one final one, then we'll have a look at the external cam and we'll the replay. We'll see where we're going right or wrong, and we'll suss it out. That felt good. felt good. That was a sweet run. Take a look at that. Let's check out the replay. It felt really good. All right, let's okay. This track not have a track does not have a camera. Probably does, but for some reason it's not working. All right, just run the chaser cam. Yeah, it's when we tried fourth, and it wasn't really all too happy. As you can see, there's a lot of wavering. Put in fourth, outside zone there, touch the grass. Oh, okay. Let's get camera angles. How to utilize. All right. Let's give this a shot. Let's have a look. Let's have a look here. So come here. Did cross the yellow line, but it was a nasty flick. We went over the track, went off the track here. It's not a perfect run, but I mean, hey, like for what it is, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the way the car feels. And we just blaze over the line. Can't see anything. My smoke mod's just cranked at the moment. Anyway, cool. Well, I guess you guys get the gist of it. Hopefully that kind of helps you, because these cars can be a little bit tricky, especially when they're in new packs. As I said, I didn't see anyone driving these cars. Like, not a single server had this up, like public. Which is a little bit sad, but I mean, these cars have a lot of potential and they're fun as fuck to drive. So I'm gonna go through and make tuning videos for each individual vehicle. And then, yeah, we'll go from there and see how we go. Maybe we'll make some more. I think we'll make some more. I want to make more. I want to make more tuning videos. There's so many Assetto secrets that are fucking hidden, like neck effect settings through to graphic settings. Like, there's so much hidden shit that people gatekeep, and I definitely feel like that we can, you know, I can definitely help you guys out, because, hey, like, the game's slowly declining. I've noticed a decrease in players and population, but there are still people that play the game. But it'd be great to see it get back to its 2020 routes where everyone was playing and driving the game. But yeah, thanks for popping by. I appreciate it. Hope you had fun. I hope you learnt a few things about tuning. On to the next one then, I guess. Take care. Peace.